You're watching YPAC, Yakima Public Affairs Channel, serving the Yakima Valley for over 20 years. Next on YPAC, coverage of the most recent Yakima Police Department ceremony. The event was held at the Yakima Convention Center on Wednesday, February 21st, 2018.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this very special award ceremony. My name is Randy Beeler. I'm the Communications and Public Affairs Director for the City of Yakima, and it's my distinct pleasure to welcome you here today to have a chance to honor some of Yakima's finest. To begin, please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Yakima Police Department Honor Guard. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Up, bow, face. Ready, up. Seat. Cut. Present, arms. Order, arms. Up, bow, face.
Thank you. Please remain standing as the invocation is delivered by Yakima Police Department Chaplain Dave Kellett.
Thank you, and thank you for coming as a family and friends of these people who are being honored today, and for any relationship that you have to law enforcement. It's very important that they have the support of their family. Just a short story, and then we'll have the invocation. My wife, who's here, had to put up with a lot of things in my 29 years as a police officer. One time, as I was both on the SWAT team and in detectives, would receive the late night call, and my wife would be so worried about that, having to go out, especially on the SWAT team, and the danger and the fear and things that she had to go through. And I got a late night call, and she looked at me and said, "What is it?" And I said, "Well, they found a dead body." And she said, "Oh, thank God." Because it wasn't a SWAT call. And so thank you, family, for coming, for putting up with having to develop a weird sense of normal because you're related to a police officer. Those of you who wish, please join me in prayer. Lord, as we gather today to honor these men and women who have served our community in a special way, remind each of us to honor all those who serve, past and present, here at home and abroad. May each one know our support and our appreciation for their work, their uniform, and their sacrifice. And Lord, for those who put on the uniform today, grant them wisdom and integrity as they do the job of a police officer. And finally, Lord, protect them as they protect us. Amen.
Thank you. You may have a seat. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce to you some of the dignitaries who have joined us here today. First of all, Mayor Kathy Coffey. City Manager Cliff Moore is here as well. And the command staff for the Yakima Police Department, please welcome Captain Jeff Schneider, Captain Jay Seeley, and Captain Gary Jones. And it is now my honor to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief of the Yakima Police Department, Dominic Rizzy.
Well, thank everybody for showing up today. I think that these are fantastic ceremonies to hold, especially in the public eye. You know, as Dave mentioned, you know, it's a stressful job, and you never know what the future holds for law enforcement. But I think what these bring out is the unseen work that our officers do on a daily basis, and they're humble, every one of them. Our sworn staff, our civilian staff, our support staff. They're all very humble, and they don't look for praise. And somehow we need to bring that more in the public eye on the great work that they do every single day, the service that they do for the community. Yes, it's a dangerous job, but it's probably one of the most rewarding professions that we can have internally and with our families. So for our officers and the great job that they do every single day, I know this is a small, very small thank you, and it represents a very small part of the work that you guys do every day. And I want to thank you personally for what you do every single day going out there to keep us safe. And this is just a reflection of that great job you guys do.
Thank you, Chief. You know, the City of Yakima values its employees and is making an extra effort to take advantage of every opportunity to support, to celebrate, and salute those who truly demonstrate the spirit of superior customer service. The city is fortunate to have many outstanding employees who consider their job not just work, but a mission. We're here today to pay tribute to exactly that kind of employee, the kind of employee who goes above and beyond, who goes the extra mile, and who represents the city of Yakima, and in this specific case, the Yakima Police Department, with pride. The city's #1 responsibility and top priority is to ensure public safety. The Yakima Police Department embraces that task and is well recognized as an outstanding law enforcement agency. That is partly because of the leadership of Chief Dominic Grizzy and the rest of the YPD command staff, but the department is strong and has a reputation that is primarily due to the tremendous commitment, dedication, and effort of its frontline officers who deal with the public day in and day out. As part of this great tradition here at the Yakima Police Department, this afternoon we acknowledge and celebrate the outstanding member of the Yakima Police Department whose long and distinguished career with the department is coming to an end. Officer Tim Cruz, please join us at the front of the room. Officer Timothy Cruz, personnel number 2731. By the way, we're now in the 8,000s. Joined the Yakima Police Department on April 1st, 1982. Before joining the YPD, Officer Cruz had worked with the Toppenish Police Department and had attended the Washington State Criminal Justice Basic Law Enforcement Academy. Tim was initially assigned to the YPD Patrol Division, which is where he spent the majority of his 35-plus year career. During his tenure, Tim also served a couple of stints as a detective. Tim is widely regarded as a caring and compassionate officer, has received over a dozen letters of commendation, and has built a reputation for taking extra time to be attentive to crime victims and other members of the community. Throughout the many evaluations that Tim has received over the years, many of his supervisors have noted the time and dedication Tim has committed to remain physically fit throughout his entire career. Timothy Cruz, on behalf of the City of Yakima, the Yakima Police Department, and the entire Yakima community, we thank you for your many years of selfless service and wish you the best in your well-earned retirement. Let's give another round of applause for Timothy Cruz. Next, we're going to present Certificates of Merit Awards. Certificate of Merit Awards are presented to members of the Yakima Police Department in recognition of excellence in an unusual, complicated, or hazardous situation. To begin, I ask that Corrections Officer Jason Masters please come to the front of the room. On May 19th, 2017, Corrections Officer Jason Masters received a call from the Airway Heights Correctional Facility stating that he needed to destroy the pre-made meals Airway Heights had supplied to the City of Yakima Jail because contaminants had been discovered in the water system used in the preparation of the meals. Officer Masters recognized the importance of the situation and stayed at work and destroyed all 1,200 meals. He then went to a store and purchased enough food to sustain the jail for a few days. The following week, Officer Masters was notified that no food delivery would be available for approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Officer Masters kept the jail supplied with meals for the entirety of the situation, which extended to 5 weeks, including a week during which he had scheduled vacation. Officer Masters completed this daunting task with no additional assistance and with minimal amount of overtime. For his actions in May and June of 2017 to keep the jail serving food, Officer Jason Masters is awarded a Yakima Police Department Certificate of Merit. Next, would the members of the Yakima SWAT team and the Crisis Response Unit please come forward to the front of the room. In 2017, the Yakima SWAT team participated in 28 missions. That's nearly double the normal activations for the SWAT team on an annual basis. In addition, SWAT team and crisis negotiators were used to assist patrol officers using their expertise in tactics and negotiation skills during several critical incidents throughout the year. Last year, the team was utilized during a variety of missions, including the issuance of search warrants, the apprehension of violent offenders, and crowd control operations. The SWAT team was also faced with unusual, out-of-the-ordinary, highly volatile, and dangerous situations. In 2017, the Yakima Valley saw an outbreak of violent crime that not only affected victims, but was specifically directed at law enforcement. Throughout the year, there were several incidents in which suspects actively engaged law enforcement, including the SWAT team, in gunfire. Last year, the SWAT team successfully assisted the Washington State Patrol in executing search warrants related to subjects who attempted to murder a state patrol. In December 2017, the SWAT team and crisis negotiators responded to 2 separate incidents in which a suspect involved shot at Yakima police officers. One of the suspects shot at SWAT officers. Both of the incidents in December ended without injury to any bystanders or law enforcement officers. The professionalism and proficiency of the Yakima SWAT team and crisis negotiators, without question, resulted in these successful outcomes. For their actions throughout 2017 to keep our community safe, the members of the Yakima SWAT team and the Crisis Negotiations Unit are awarded the Yakima Police Department Certificate of Merit. To accept the awards, here's Sergeant Eric Hampton and Sergeant Mike Henney. Next, Yakima Police Department Life-Saving Awards will be presented to several members of the department. Life-saving awards are presented to members of the Yakima Police Department in recognition of the saving or prolonging of a human life. First, would Corrections Officer Mark Dole and Corrections Sergeant Dwight Carlton please join us at the front of the room. On July 7th, 2017, Corrections Sergeant Dwight Charlton alerted Corrections Officer Mark Joel to check on the welfare of a prisoner being held in a YPD patrol holding room. Sergeant Charlton had been monitoring the holding rooms where he noticed the prisoner's odd behavior. Officer Dole found the prisoner in medical distress. The prisoner had attempted to hang himself with his own shoelaces. Officer Dole immediately cut the shoelaces from the prisoner's neck. He moved the prisoner to the floor, where the prisoner began to breathe again on his own. He regained consciousness a short time later. Had it not been for Sergeant Charlton's attentiveness and Officer Dole rendering aid to the prisoner may very likely have been successful in taking his own life. For their actions on July 7, 2017, Corrections Sergeant Dwight Charlton and Corrections Officer Mark Dole are each awarded the Yakima Police Department Life-Saving Ribbon. Next, Officer Matt Drumheller, please join us at the front of the room. On July 18, 2017, Officer Matt Drumheller responded to a call of a possible drug overdose in the 2400 block of Castlevale Road. Once on scene, Officer Drumheller quickly located a female victim and determined that she did not have a pulse and was not breathing. Officer Drumheller immediately started CPR and instructed a friend of the victim how to provide rescue breaths. Officer Drumheller continued CPR and continued giving instructions to the female companion of the victim on how to administer rescue breaths. This process lasted several minutes until the victim began to breathe on her own again and her pulse was restored. Arriving medics praised Officer Drumheller's quick actions and willingness to assist. For his actions, on July 18, 2017, Officer Matt Drumheller is awarded the Yakima Police Department Life-Saving Ribbon. Next, Sergeant Rich Fowler, please come to the front of the room. On June 6, 2017, Sergeant Rick Fowler and Officer Ryan Avery responded to the 4800 block of Chestnut Avenue to a report of a gunshot victim. Sergeant Fowler arrived first and located the victim, who had a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head. Sergeant Fowler immediately began CPR and continued until Officer Avery arrived and took over. Officer Avery and Sergeant Fowler performed CPR for several minutes until medics arrived. The victim was taken to an area hospital and then transferred to Harborview Medical Center. Had it not been for the immediate action by Sergeant Fowler and Officer Avery, the victim may have been successful in his attempt to end his life. For their actions on June 6, 2017, Sergeant Rich Fowler and Officer Ryan Avery are awarded the Yakima Police Department Life-Saving Ribbon. Officer Avery, by the way, is now working for the Bremerton Police Department, and his award will be forwarded to him there. Next, would Officer Darius Williams please come to the front of the room? On February 10th, 2017, Officer Darius Williams responded to the report of an overdose. Once on scene, Officer Williams located the victim and immediately recognized that he was in medical distress. The victim was not breathing, nor did he have a pulse. Officer Williams immediately began CPR. A female on the scene gave the patient breaths while Officer Williams provided chest compressions. After several minutes, medics arrived and took over CPR. Eventually, the victim began to breathe on his own again. Officer Williams' quick action in this medical emergency contributed to the victim's full recovery. For his actions on February 10th, 2017, Officer Darius Williams is awarded the Yakima Police Department Life-Saving Ribbon. Next, Officer Ben Graves. Please join us at the front of the room. On November 4th, 2017, Officer Ben Graves was dispatched to a call of an overdose in the 800 block of North 24th Avenue. Once on scene, Officer Graves located the victim in the basement of the residence. He recognized that the victim was in medical distress. Officer Graves moved the victim to the floor. Despite having a pulse, the victim was not breathing and was non-responsive. Soon after, Officer Graves determined that the victim was no longer had a pulse and immediately began CPR. Officer Graves was able to establish a pulse again, but only for a short period of time. Officer Graves continued resuscitation efforts until medics arrived and took over for him. The victim was taken to an area hospital. The attending physician informed Officer Graves' supervisor that the officer who had attended to the victim quite simply saved his life. For his actions on November 4th, 2017, Officer Ben Graves is awarded the Yakima Police Department Life-Saving Ribbon. Next, Officer Joe Shirley, please come to the front of the room. On October 13th, 2017, Officer Joe Shirley was dispatched to the 2000 block of West J Street on an overdose call. Upon arrival, Officer Shirley located the collapsed victim in the living room. Officer Shirley was unable to locate a pulse for the victim, and she was not breathing. Officer Shirley immediately began CPR and directed the victim's sister to perform rescue breaths. After about 2 minutes, the victim began to breathe again on her own. Shortly afterwards, medics arrived and took over. Medics told Officer Shirley's supervisor that in their opinion, Officer Shirley's quick and sustained response saved the victim's life. For his actions on October 13th, 2017, Officer Joe Shirley is awarded the Yakima Police Department Life-Saving Ribbon. So next, we are going to present the Non-Commissioned Employee of the Year Award. Would our first nominee, Maritza please join us at the front of the room? Maritza Verstraete is a dedicated employee and team player who is always willing to help others in the division. Maritza provides excellent customer service to community members and displays leadership skills on a daily basis. In 2017, Maritza was called upon to perform the duties of Acting Services Division Manager. According to her supervisors, she excelled in her acting capacity while a search for a permanent manager was underway. For her excellent work in 2017, Maritza Verstraete is recognized with the Yakima Police Department Certificate of Excellence and is a nominee for the Yakima Police Department Non-Commissioned Employee of the Year. And Maritza, we'll ask you to stay here at the front of the room after you're done shaking hands. We also ask that our second nominee for Non-Commissioned Employee of the Year, Corrections Sergeant Maritza Davis, please come to the front of the room. Corrections Sergeant Maritza Davis is one of the original correction officers hired by the Yakima Police Department. When she was promoted to sergeant, she took it upon herself to expand her knowledge regarding jail operations and personnel management. In 2017, Sergeant Davis was instrumental in overseeing the completion of the city's jail control panel project. She served as the main point of contact for the department during the 3-year project. Also in 2017, Sergeant Davis helped negotiate the Kite medical contract that provides medical services to inmates. Sergeant Davis is working on standardizing jail procedures, rewriting jail policy to ensure compliance with Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs criteria in preparation for potential accreditation, and overseeing the development of all correctional staff through formal leadership training. Sergeant Davis is truly one of the most valuable personnel assets within the Yakima Police Department. For her outstanding work performance in 2017 and throughout her career, Sergeant Davis is recognized with a Certificate of Excellence and is a nominee for the Yakima Police Department Non-Commissioned Employee of the Year. And now, to present this year's award for the Non-Commissioned Employee of the Year, here once again is Yakima Police Chief Dominic Grizzy.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing when you have a support staff as good as the ones that we have. We're talking our administration, services, the jail. There's so much good work that's being done. And it's a difficult decision to come up with something like this. But we have to recognize excellence on this police department. And we had absolutely 2 fantastic nominees, not to mention all the other good work that has been done throughout the year. And it's my pleasure to inform you that the non-sworn member of the year of the Yakima Police Department is Maritza Davis. Let's all congratulate her.
Let's give another round of applause for Maritza and Maritza. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to introduce you to the nominees for the 2017 Yakima Police Department Officer of the Year Award. The Officer of the Year Award recognizes outstanding and exemplary service to the Yakima Police Department and the City of Yakima. This year, there are 2 nominees for the Yakima Police Department Officer of the Year Award. First, Officer Frank Bowersox. Please join us at the front of the room. Officer Frank Bowersox is assigned as the YPD Transit Officer and works primarily in the downtown business district area of the city. Officer Bowersox's duties include working closely with the Transit Division regarding issues that occur on city buses or around transit stops and the Transit Center. Officer Bowersox works with downtown business owners to address issues that occur in and around their businesses. Business owners speak highly of Officer Bowersox's enthusiasm and willingness to assist them in trying to find solutions to their problems. Officer Bowersox also provides security for city council meetings and has taken it upon himself to educate council members about how to respond to emergencies that could occur during meetings. In addition to those assigned duties, Officer Bowersox serves as a negotiator on the Crisis Response Unit. For his excellence in police work and willingness to accept additional duties and responsibilities, Officer Frank Bowersox is recognized with a Certificate of Excellence and is a nominee for the Yakima Police Department Officer of the Year Award. Next, Detective Curtis Oya. Please join us at the front of the room. Detective Curtis Oya is assigned to the Special Assault Unit in the Detectives Division. Detective Oya's primary assignment is to investigate serious felony crimes such as domestic violence incidents, sexual assaults, child pornography cases, and child abuse neglect cases. Many of the cases assigned to Detective Oya are complex and sensitive in nature. In 2017, Detective Oya was the lead detective in more than 178 investigations. In addition to his primary assignment, Detective Oya volunteers for additional tasks for the betterment of the department and the victims of the crimes he investigates. Detective Oya gives presentations on internet safety for children and cyber crimes to community members. Detective Oya also has worked closely with the Yakima County Prosecutor's Office in structuring a child advocacy center and multidisciplinary team that will specialize in child forensic interviewing. Detective Oya regularly volunteers to assist patrol officers and other detectives when they are in need of help during investigations. For his outstanding performance in 2017, Detective Curtis Oya is recognized with a Certificate of Excellence and is a nominee for the Yakima Police Department Officer of the Year Award. And now, to present the 2017 Yakima Police Department Officer of the Year Award, Chief Dominic Rizzy.
It was a couple of years ago is when we started the Officer of the Year Award. Prior to that, the union had, and it still does, their Officer of the Year Award. But I felt that it was important that the department have an award that recognizes excellence, and we expand that to our non-sworn members also. It's always a difficult decision that we have to come up with because of the great work. We're talking right now 135 sworn members that go out there on a daily basis and do absolutely phenomenal work. And to have 2 fantastic nominees that we have today, I think it just brings great pride to this city. So with that, I'd like to call up Curtis Oya as our Officer of the Year.
Let's give another round of applause to Frank Bowersox, Curtis Oya, our nominees for Officer of the Year. Well, congratulations to all of our outstanding award winners today. Today's ceremony is just one small way we can say thank you to these outstanding members of the Yakima Police Department who each and every day deal with emergency situations that most of us can only imagine. And they do so with professionalism and pride. That is to be acknowledged and celebrated every chance it can be. There are some refreshments in the back, ladies and gentlemen, and I encourage you to stick around and enjoy some of those refreshments and offer your own congratulations to our award winners. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, help me say thank you to the outstanding members of the Yakima Police Department recognized here today. Would you now please stand while the colors are retired by the Yakima Police Department Color Guard. I believe the Honor Guard has retired for the day. No retiring of the colors. Hey, but let's really give a big thanks as well to that Honor Guard. Did a fantastic job today. Thank you as well to everyone who had a hand in putting this wonderful ceremony together. Please, again, ladies and gentlemen, stick around, enjoy the refreshments, and thanks for coming out. Have a great afternoon.